Chosen one, pay attention, because what I'm about to say is not random. If this video has reached you today, understand one thing. God has spoken over your life. He said, your elevation starts today. This is the shift you have been sensing in your spirit for weeks. The pressure, the loneliness, the sudden changes. These were not signs of something ending, but something beginning. God has been rearranging your path, removing blockages, and preparing your name for a higher level. And today, the rise officially starts. Your spirit can already feel it. Doors unlocking, burdens lifting, clarity returning. This message is not for everyone. It's for the one who has been chosen to rise now. Before you go deeper into this video, do 3 things to align with God's elevation. Like this video, comment, "I'm ready, Lord," and subscribe so this blessing reaches you fully. God has closed some doors, not to harm you, but to lift you. When God starts elevating you, the first thing he often does is close certain doors, not to punish you, but to protect you. Many times in life, we hold on to things simply because they are familiar, not because they are good for our future. So when people suddenly walk away, or something you were working hard for slips out of your hands, it feels unfair. It feels confusing. You start questioning yourself, wondering what went wrong. But slowly, with time, you begin to realize that some of those things were never meant to stay. They were temporary lessons, not lifelong blessings. God saw conversations you didn't hear, intentions you couldn't read, and directions you didn't notice. So he stepped in and closed those doors before they had the chance to destroy your peace or delay your purpose. Think about the people who quietly faded from your life. At first, it might have looked like rejection, but in reality, it was protection. Not everyone deserves access to the higher version of you. Some relationships only made sense in your old season. Once your elevation begins, those same people can become distractions or obstacles. So God makes the separation happen even when you don't have the strength to do it yourself. And even though it hurts, it is necessary. You cannot rise while holding on to what keeps you low. The same applies to opportunities that didn't work out. Maybe you prayed for a job, a partnership, or a certain path to open, and when it didn't happen, you felt disappointed. But later, you noticed that something better came along, something that suited your growth, your talent, and your destiny. Sometimes God delays you to redirect you. Sometimes he makes something fall apart, so something stronger can take its place. What you see as a dead end might actually be the beginning of a more meaningful road. Your closed door is not a failure, it is guidance. Another sign is when your plans suddenly stop making sense. You try everything, you push, you hustle, and yet nothing moves. This pause isn't a setback, it's God slowing you down because the timing isn't right or the environment isn't safe. When elevation is near, God removes anything that is not aligned with your next level, even if you're emotionally attached to it. He knows what your future requires, and he won't allow anything that could weaken your foundation. In the moment, closed doors feel heavy, but when you look back later, you realize that every ending had a purpose. Every goodbye carried a blessing. Every loss created space for something higher. God will never take something from you unless he is preparing to replace it with something far better. And the reason he closes doors so firmly is because if they remained open, you might walk back into situations that are no longer meant for you. So instead of asking, "Why did this happen?" start asking, "What is God making room for?" Because when God closes a door, elevation is already on the way, and what's coming will make everything you lost make sense. Your spirit feels restless because you're outgrowing your old life. When God begins elevating you, one of the first signs you feel inside is restlessness. Not the stressful kind, but a quiet discomfort that tells you something in your life is shifting. Places that once felt familiar start feeling tight. People you used to enjoy being around suddenly drain your energy. The routines you followed for years no longer bring you peace or excitement. It's like your soul is whispering, "You're meant for more now." And even though nothing looks different on the outside, everything feels different on the inside. That feeling isn't a problem. It's growth. You're outgrowing the old version of your life without even trying. Think about how a plant pushes through the soil when it's ready to grow. That pressure, that tension, that movement, it doesn't mean something is wrong. It means something new is breaking through. In the same way, God is stretching you so you can enter a bigger destiny. This stretch feels uncomfortable because your spirit is expanding faster than your environment. You feel restless because your soul knows it can no longer stay where it used to survive. You're not breaking down. You're breaking out. You may notice that conversations you once loved now feel empty. Certain habits no longer satisfy you. You crave deeper meaning, higher purpose, and real connection. This shift is a sign that God is preparing you for a different level of people. People who match your thinking, your energy, and your mission. Your elevation requires stronger circles, wiser decisions, and healthier boundaries. God won't allow you to stay small, mentally or emotionally, when He is calling you higher spiritually. Sometimes this restlessness shows up as boredom with your old routine. You want change, but you can't explain what kind of change. You want movement, but you're not sure where to move. That's because God is taking you through an internal upgrade before He changes your external situation. Your spirit adjusts first, and your life adjusts next. This season is about preparation. You are becoming someone who can handle the blessings you once prayed for. Another sign is when you start avoiding things you used to tolerate. You no longer force conversations that drain you. You stop overgiving to people who don't appreciate you. You feel uncomfortable pretending to be someone you no longer are. Your soul refuses to shrink just to fit into places you've outgrown. And even though it feels lonely at times, it's actually a good sign. You're stepping into a higher identity, and not everyone can follow. Restlessness also means your vision is changing. You're no longer satisfied with surviving. You want to thrive. You're no longer interested in temporary comfort. You want permanent growth. You don't want the life you had. You want the life God designed for you. And because of that, your spirit can't sit still anymore. It's pushing you, nudging you, calling you toward a future that is bigger than your fears and greater than your past. So don't worry about this discomfort. Don't fight it. Don't ignore it. This restlessness is God's message that your new chapter is beginning. You are stretching, growing, rising, and soon everything around you will rise with you. You've been experiencing sudden insight and clarity. One of the clearest signs that God is elevating you is when your mind suddenly becomes sharper. Thoughts that used to feel heavy or confusing begin to make sense. Questions you carried for years start finding answers on their own. You begin noticing things you never paid attention to earlier. People's intentions, hidden patterns, and the deeper meaning behind your experiences. This new clarity isn't something you forced. It's something God placed inside you because He is preparing you for your next chapter. When elevation begins, understanding becomes a gift. Your spirit becomes more awake than ever before. You may have noticed that you're able to look at situations differently now. Where you once reacted emotionally, you now respond with wisdom. Where you used to blame yourself for everything, you now see the difference between your mistakes and other people's choices. This is not just maturity, it's spiritual alignment. God is helping you see the truth so you don't walk blindly into the future. He's clearing the fog from your mind, allowing you to recognize what belongs in your life and what doesn't. This clarity saves you from repeating old cycles and protects you from stepping into traps disguised as blessings. You are also beginning to understand the purpose behind your pain. Things that once felt unfair now appear as lessons. You start realizing why certain people hurt you, why some seasons were lonely, and why you had to go through specific challenges. Those painful chapters built the strength, patience, and perspective you carry today. God is connecting the dots for you, showing you that nothing you lived through was wasted. This deeper understanding helps you heal from your past and prepares you emotionally for the new blessings coming your way. With this clarity comes a strong sense of direction. Even if you don't have every detail figured out, you feel guided towards certain choices. You know what to move away from and what to move toward. Some thoughts feel like gentle nudges, some like strong convictions, but they all push you toward growth. You're no longer moving randomly, you're moving with purpose. That inner pull you're feeling is God steering you toward the path designed for you. You're also becoming more aware of people's true nature. Someone's energy tells you more than their words. You can sense who is genuine and who is pretending. You're less likely to get fooled, manipulated, or drained. This is God sharpening your discernment so you don't carry the wrong people into your next level. Elevation requires protection, and this new clarity is part of that protection. Most importantly, you are seeing yourself differently. You're recognizing your worth, your talent, and your potential. You're realizing that you're capable of more than you gave yourself credit for. You're no longer shrinking to make others comfortable. God is aligning your thoughts with what He sees in you, not the version shaped by fear, but the version shaped by purpose. This clarity is not an accident. It is preparation. It is God making sure that when the blessings arrive, you are able to handle them with wisdom, strength, and confidence. Your mind is becoming clearer because your destiny is getting closer. You feel like you're being pulled towards something new. One of the most powerful signs that God is elevating you is the strange, almost unexplainable feeling that something new is calling you. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, but it's steady, like a gentle pull that keeps tugging at your spirit. You may not know what's coming. You may not have the full picture, but deep inside, you can feel a shift. It's as if your soul is whispering, "Move forward. Something better is waiting." That pull is not imagination. It is guidance. When God is preparing you for a new chapter, He doesn't always give you the details first. He gives you the desire to grow, to change, to explore new places, and to step out of old patterns. This feeling often shows up when your old life begins to feel too small for who you are becoming. Things that once satisfied you now feel incomplete. Goals you once chased no longer excite you. It's not because you're lost, it's because you're growing. God is pulling you away from what was comfortable so He can position you for what is meant for you. And even if you can't explain it to others, you know deep down that staying where you are is no longer an option. Your heart wants movement, your mind wants clarity, and your spirit wants expansion. That is elevation taking shape inside you. Sometimes this pull feels like curiosity. You suddenly feel drawn to new ideas, new dreams, or new paths that never interested you before. You're noticing opportunities you once overlooked. You're thinking about possibilities that felt unrealistic in the past. That curiosity is not random. It's God opening your mind to the next stage of your purpose. He is preparing you emotionally before He reveals your blessings physically. You may also feel a quiet courage rising inside you. Decisions that once scared you now feel possible. Risks that once made you freeze now feel necessary. You're not as afraid of change as you used to be. You're not as attached to old routines. This shift in your courage is a sign that God is strengthening you for what's ahead. Elevation requires bravery, and God gives you that bravery before He gives you the breakthrough. Another part of this pull is the sudden push to let go. You might feel the urge to release certain habits, relationships, or situations that no longer bring peace. Even if nothing bad happened, your heart knows it's time to move forward. This release is important because your next chapter needs space. God won't let you carry unnecessary weight into your new season. When you start feeling that emotional distance from things that once held your attention, it means your spirit is outgrowing them. You may not know exactly where you're going, but you're beginning to trust the journey. And that trust is the true sign of elevation. God is leading you step by step, giving you just enough guidance to move forward, but not so much that you rely on your own understanding. He wants you to walk with faith, not fear. So when you feel this pull, this quiet invitation towards something new, don't ignore it. Don't push it away. This is God preparing your path, shifting your spirit, and calling you into a chapter that is bigger, brighter, and more aligned with who you truly are. Your elevation is not ahead of you. It has already begun inside you. Your confidence is quietly returning. One of the clearest signs that your elevation has begun is the quiet return of your confidence. It doesn't come back all at once. It doesn't arrive with noise or announcements. It returns gently, almost silently, like a small light turning back on inside you after a long period of darkness. You may not be telling anyone about it, but deep within, something is waking up. You're beginning to feel like yourself again, the version of you that believed, that dreamed, that trusted your own strength. This shift isn't random. It's God rebuilding what life tried to tear down. For a long time, you felt drained, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. You second-guessed your decisions. You questioned your worth. You carried disappointments that slowly chipped away at your confidence. But recently, without even trying, you've noticed something different. You're standing a little taller. You're thinking more clearly. You're not doubting yourself the way you used to. It's like the pieces of you that were once scattered are finally coming back together. That's what divine rebuilding looks like. God doesn't elevate you while you still see yourself as broken. He strengthens the foundation inside you first. This returning confidence shows up in subtle ways. You're starting to say no to things that drain you. You're setting boundaries with people who once took advantage of your kindness. You're no longer seeking approval the way you used to. You trust your voice more. You value your time more. You're recognizing that you deserve respect, peace, and love. These are not small changes. They are signs of inner healing. God is reminding you of who you truly are, not who life tried to convince you to be. Another sign is the way you're starting to dream again. You're thinking about possibilities you had pushed away. Ideas that once felt impossible now feel reachable. You're looking at your future with hope instead of fear. This shift means your heart is recovering. Hope cannot live where the spirit is wounded. So if hope is rising again, it means your spirit is being restored. God is preparing you for things you couldn't even imagine a year ago. You may also notice new strength in situations that used to break you. Problems that once overwhelmed you now feel manageable. People who used to trigger your insecurity no longer hold the same power. You stay calm where you once panicked. You speak with clarity where you once stayed silent. This strength is not coming from your effort. It's coming from God renewing you from the inside out. And perhaps the most beautiful sign is that you've stopped comparing yourself to others. You're finally seeing your own journey as valuable. You understand that your timing is different, your path is unique, and your blessings are tailored for you. This acceptance brings peace, and peace builds confidence. When you stop fighting who you are, you begin rising into who you are becoming. So if you feel this quiet strength returning, if you feel courage rising, if you feel a spark inside you that you thought was gone, know this: it's not random. It's confirmation. God is rebuilding your confidence because He's preparing you to walk into opportunities that require a stronger, clearer, bolder version of you. Your elevation starts within, and right now, that inner rise has already begun. Unexpected support and favor are showing up. One of the most surprising signs that your elevation has started is when help begins showing up from places you never expected. It feels almost unbelievable at first. People you barely know suddenly treat you with warmth. Someone offers advice at the perfect time. A stranger opens a door of opportunity without you even asking. These moments aren't coincidences. They're signs that God is moving behind the scenes, rearranging situations and placing the right people in your path. When God elevates you, He doesn't let you climb alone. He surrounds you with support before He releases the blessing. Think about how life felt before this shift. You probably felt isolated, misunderstood, or even overlooked. It seemed like everything depended on your effort alone. You carried responsibilities that felt too heavy, trying to solve everything by yourself. But suddenly things are changing. Someone offers help without expecting anything in return. Someone mentions your name in a room you've never entered. Someone gives you a chance that feels perfectly timed. This isn't luck. This is divine favor beginning to unfold. Sometimes support shows up in simple but meaningful ways. A helpful message, a new connection, a fresh idea, an emotional conversation that gives you peace. Other times, it arrives as big breakthroughs, a job offer, a business opportunity, unexpected recognition, or a door that opens with no struggle. When these things begin happening, understand that it's part of your spiritual alignment. God is placing the right people around you so that the path ahead becomes smoother than the one behind you. You may also notice a shift in the way others respond to you. People who once ignored you now show respect. Individuals who never paid attention to your work now speak highly of you. It's not because you changed anything suddenly. It's because God changed the atmosphere around you. Favor is not something you earn. It's something God releases when your time has come. When He elevates you, He softens hearts, changes minds, and positions people to bless you without even realizing they are part of your journey. Another sign is ease. Things that used to require struggle now begin to flow naturally. You're not forcing connections, they come to you. You're not chasing opportunities, they find you. You're not begging for support, people are drawn to help you. Elevation removes friction. When God wants you to rise, He clears the way, opens the path, and sends assistance exactly when you need it. Many times, God sends support first to remove the fear of stepping into the next level. He knows that elevation can be intimidating, so He surrounds you with people who remind you that you're not alone. Help appears before the blessing, so your heart can handle what's coming. This support builds your confidence and prepares you emotionally for bigger responsibilities. So when you notice unexpected kindness, when help appears out of nowhere, when you feel supported in ways you didn't ask for, recognize it for what it is, divine favor, confirming that your elevation has begun. God is sending everything you need, people, opportunities, clarity, and strength, so that when your blessing arrives, you'll be ready to receive it fully. Old wounds are healing faster than before. A powerful sign that God is elevating you is when old wounds start healing faster than ever. Pain that once controlled your thoughts, shaped your emotions, and affected your decisions suddenly feels lighter. It's not that the memories have disappeared, you just don't feel trapped by them anymore. Something inside you is finally releasing what you held on to for years. You're beginning to breathe differently, think differently, and move differently. This shift is not accidental. When God prepares you for a higher level, He first frees you from the chains of your past. Healing is the doorway to elevation. There was a time when the smallest reminder of your past would break you. A certain name, a place, a situation, a conversation, it could pull you back into old emotions instantly. But now, when those reminders appear, you feel calm. You understand what happened, but you're not wounded by it anymore. This change shows that your heart is stronger and your spirit is maturing. The pain that once held power over you no longer defines who you are. God has been quietly restoring you from the inside out. You may also notice that forgiveness feels easier now, not because people suddenly deserved it, but because you've released the burden of carrying anger and resentment. Forgiveness is not about them. It's about you taking back your peace. When your elevation starts, God removes bitterness, heaviness, and emotional clutter, so your heart has space for new blessings. A healed heart can receive what a wounded heart would push away. Another sign of this healing is emotional clarity. You're understanding your experiences without blaming yourself. You're seeing why certain things happened and how those moments made you stronger. Instead of asking, "Why was this done to me?" you're now saying, "I grew because of this." This shift in perspective is enormous. It means your mind is no longer trapped in the past. It's focused on your future. Old experiences that once made you fearful now make you wiser. Situations that once made you insecure now make you confident. You're able to express your emotions without feeling weak. You're able to walk away from unhealthy people without feeling guilty. You're able to choose yourself without hesitation. That's healing. And that healing is what allows your elevation to begin. Sometimes God speeds up your healing because your next chapter requires emotional strength. He removes the emotional fog so you can see clearly. He closes old wounds because He doesn't want you to bleed while stepping into new opportunities. He dries your tears because He's about to show you a season where joy will replace everything you lost. Your healing is not a sign of forgetting. It's a sign of freedom. You are no longer carrying the weight that once broke you. You are no longer tied to people who hurt you. You are no longer defined by moments that tried to shape your identity. So when you feel your heart becoming lighter and your mind becoming peaceful, when painful memories lose their power, when you finally feel ready to move forward, understand this. God is preparing you. Healing is not the end. It's the beginning of your elevation. You're becoming more protective of your energy. One of the biggest signs that God is elevating you is the way you've started protecting your energy. You're not the same person you used to be. Earlier, you would allow anyone into your life, even if they drained you emotionally. You would try to fix situations, explain yourself to people who never understood you, and chase relationships that didn't value your presence. But now, something inside you has shifted. You've realized your peace is priceless, and you're no longer willing to trade it for temporary comfort or approval. This new level of self-respect is not random. It's a spiritual upgrade. God is raising your standards because He's raising your life. You've stopped entertaining drama because you finally understand how much it steals from you. Your time, your focus, your happiness. The moment someone shows you chaos, manipulation, or negativity, you quietly step back. You don't argue, you don't fight, you simply remove yourself. That's emotional maturity. That's the sign of someone who knows their worth. God is teaching you to protect your spirit from anything that tries to disrupt the peace He's building inside you. You've also stopped explaining yourself to everyone. You no longer feel the need to justify your decisions, your silence, your growth, or your boundaries. You've learned that people who truly care will understand you naturally, and those who don't were never meant for your next chapter. This freedom from over-explaining is a sign that you're stepping into a higher identity, one that no longer waits for others to validate your choices. Another big change is that you've stopped chasing people. You no longer run after relationships where you are ignored or undervalued. You're no longer available to those who only remember you when they need something. You've realized that real connections don't require begging. If someone wants to stay in your life, they will make an effort. And if they don't, you let them go peacefully. This emotional strength is a major sign of elevation because God cannot take you higher while you are still tied to people who drain your energy. You're valuing your peace more than social approval. You choose quiet over arguments, solitude over fake company, and truth over temporary comfort. You're more careful about who you share your thoughts with, who you allow into your space, and who you trust with your heart. This is your spirit becoming wiser. This is God sharpening your discernment. Not everyone deserves access to your life, and you're finally acting on that understanding. Your time has also become sacred to you. You don't waste it on mindless conversations, unproductive habits, or people who don't bring positivity into your life. You're becoming intentional. Every action, every decision, every step is made with awareness. This level of intentionality means you're aligning with your purpose. God is positioning you for bigger things, and He doesn't want distractions slowing you down. So if you're feeling more protective of your energy, if you're choosing peace over noise, if you're letting go of anything that doesn't match your growth, know this: you are rising. God is preparing you for a higher level, and protecting your energy is part of the transformation. This shift is proof that elevation has already begun. You can feel something big coming, even if you can't explain it. One of the most mysterious and powerful signs that your elevation is near is the quiet feeling inside you that something big is coming. You can't explain it to anyone, and you don't have proof to show, but your spirit keeps telling you that a major shift is on the way. It's not anxiety and it's not imagination. It's a spiritual signal, a gentle whisper in your heart saying, "Prepare yourself. Something powerful is about to unfold." This inner knowing isn't random. It's God communicating with you in the language of the soul. Before the blessing arrives in your life, it first arrives in your spirit. You may have noticed this feeling growing stronger lately. Out of nowhere, you're more alert. You feel more aware. You're paying attention to signs, patterns, and small changes in your life. It's as if your intuition is waking up with new strength. Even when nothing around you looks different, something inside you feels different. That internal shift is a sign that the external shift is close. God allows your spirit to sense what your eyes cannot see yet, so you don't lose hope before the breakthrough arrives. This feeling can show up as a strange excitement for no reason. You wake up with a sense of purpose, even on days when nothing special is happening. You feel like preparing, improving, and organizing your life, even though you don't know exactly why. That urge to get ready is divine guidance. God is leading you step by step, ensuring that when the opportunity arrives, you will be emotionally and mentally prepared to receive it. Sometimes, this inner knowing comes with sudden peace. A peace that doesn't match your situation. A peace that makes no sense logically, but feels completely right spiritually. This peace is God's way of telling you, "I'm in control. I'm already working on your behalf." Even if you were stressed or doubtful before, this new calmness reassures you that the next chapter of your life is going to be better than what you left behind. You might also feel like something is shifting in your surroundings. Old things feel like they are fading away. New things feel like they are about to enter. It's almost like the atmosphere around you is changing. You may notice more synchronicities, repeating numbers, meaningful dreams, or unexpected signs. These are confirmations that you're walking into alignment. God reveals glimpses of your future before He opens the door fully. And even if you can't describe it perfectly, that inner pull keeps reminding you that your story is about to take a turn for the better. You don't know when, you don't know how, but you know it's close. That knowing is faith awakening inside you. It's your spirit being prepared for blessings that your mind has not yet imagined. So trust that quiet feeling inside you. It's not a coincidence. It's a divine message. When God whispers to your heart, He is not warning you, He is preparing you. That sense of anticipation you feel is the first step of your elevation. Something big is coming your way, and soon, what you feel in your spirit will become what you see in your life. Chosen one, this is your moment. God has spoken over your life. The delays, the struggles, the waiting, everything was preparation. From today, your elevation begins. Walk with confidence. Step with faith. And remember, what God starts, no one can stop.